Life is an event. Celebrate it. Hi, this is your own Meenamma, and I'm here not on a Wednesday but on a Tuesday to discuss Event Mavericks. Very special Tuesday for me because the person in the studio with me is very close to my heart. If you thought that you have to be young to do things in the world, change your opinion, you just have to be a woman and ripe. Ladies and gentlemen, Meenamma is here. It is my immense pleasure to welcome a distinguished guest to our podcast, The MEENAMMA Show. Today, we have the incredible Tanaz Basrur joining us. Tanaz is a renowned figure in the media and entertainment industry, with a career spanning over 4 decades dedicated to creating and managing unforgettable experiences for esteemed clients and industry colleagues. She's here to tell us a story. Tanaz's impressive portfolio includes handling end-to-end projects for high-profile weddings like those of the Mittal-Saraf, the Earnest John, Podar, Garg, Priyanka Chopra, Nick Jonas, and Ambani families. Her expertise extends to managing large-scale events for prestigious projects, such as the Global Citizen with Wizcraft featuring Coldplay, Justin Bieber for BMS, Enchanted Valley Carnival, the Mumbai Festival, and the HSBC Global CEO Meet, to name a few. With significant roles in renowned organizations like the Welcome Group, the Taj Group of Hotels, the Times of India, ZTV Network, UTV, Rapper Global Events, Sport 18, Cine Yug, Procam International, and KM Music School, A.R. Rahman's own venture, Tanaz has left an indelible mark on the event industry. Tanaz possesses expertise in end-to-end project management, from conceptualizing and designing to logistics, planning, and execution. With a proven track record in curating weddings and large-scale events globally, her organizational, creative, analytical, interpersonal, and leadership skills sets her apart from the rest of the gang. I invite all of you today to join us on this enlightening conversation with Tanaz Basrur. Let her journey inspire you to pursue excellence in your own endeavors. Don't miss this opportunity to gain valuable insights from a true industry leader. She's a visionary. Tune in, strap yourself, stay inspired, and let's together learn from her extraordinary life and career. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say a big welcome to our own wonderful Tanaz Basrur. How are you, Tanaz, today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much. I'd like to say a big thank you to Meenamma, to the Meenamma team, to Meenakshi, to my viewers for joining in here. And thank you for being here. Thank you for having me on the show. And let's rock it.
Yes, Tanaz. Tanaz, you and me, we are different. When people think of event managers, they think of this sexy swab baby who was dressed in differently, young person, full of energy. Put things aside, the energy remains, but we are middle-aged, distinguished, respectful women who could be someone's mother, but we rock the cradle and we rule the world, don't we, Tanaz? I'm so happy to be talking to you today because you bring to the table 42 years, almost 4 decades of excellence in the field of event management, and today is dedicated to all of us event managers. Tanaz, tell me, before you to start on your event life, who are you? Where were you born? What was your childhood like?
I was born to a Parsi family, to a very poor Parsi family. So my beginning itself was a little tough road, a tough path. Okay, my childhood was a tough childhood in terms of having everything. My father, very early in life, lost his job due to his ailments. And therefore, me and my brother, we just immediately got up and said that we need to look after ourselves. We need to fend for the family. I have a younger brother too. So we need to fend for the family and we need to do something on our own. We can't be dependent on our parents to send us to college. So from school itself, from the 9th standard, I started giving tuitions alongside my school. And 35 rupees per student, and I had quite a few. So I would make a decent amount that time. Started with tuitions, and then I informed my parents that I'd like to, graduate. I'd like to be a graduate. I'd like to go to college. And my father said, I'm there in spirit and everything, but unfortunately I can't be able to send you to college. I don't have the money. So my brother and me, we both struggled and somehow managed to get my fees going for the college. And I started working at the Sea Rock Hotel as soon as I joined college. I would do night shifts there and then go to college in the day and go back to night shifts. I did that for about 4 years. And then Sea Rock had some issues. They were kind of shutting down. So I moved on to the Taj group of hotels. That was a good jump too. And there I started my service industry. There I learned how to look after people, how to treat people, how to look after the foreign delegates, how to groom myself, how to talk to people, and of course, all the other nitty-gritties on hotel management. I did that for about another 5 years, and my then boyfriend and now husband, we decided to marry. Yeah, we quoted during college itself, and we decided to marry. So I thought I should leave the shift business now and get onto a proper 9 to 5 job. And to my luck, or I would say to my good fortune, I got selected at the Times of India in the
Wow.
year 88, 89, the sequicentennial years of the Times of
And
India
that's
celebration.
the big time for the old lady, yes.
Old
The
Lady of
Times.
Boribandar, exactly,
Mm.
known as the Old Lady of Boribandar at that time. And they wanted to change this image of theirs, this Old Lady Boribandar image, and the swanky new office and do everything differently. And they had a year-long celebrations in different areas, in whether it was classical music or whether it was fashion designing or whether it was the film fair, Femina, Gyanpit, Times Cricket Shield, Economic Times Awards. I was an admin officer, but at that moment, at that time, there was no word of events as such. They were in-house functions.
Yes. Mhm.
So I got pulled into all these events from my admin duties. And I was very happy about it because I was learning different things. I was being exposed to diverse experiences with all these kind of events, handling them in-house. A whole lot of encouragement from the management. The team were mainly the admin team and the response team. There were no events people. There were no specialists. There were uh, no Wizcrafts at that point of time. Everybody
Mm.
started from there. Everybody started from there. So when we did this sequicentennial year celebrations, the first of its kind, things happened in Bombay, the gateway of India. St. Ives Laura came in with Naomi Campbell and his models,
Yes. What a
and
show it was.
what a brilliant show. And then we converted the VT station into an art gallery.
Wow.
Okay. Yes. So many firsts of the first happened during that year. And at that point of time, Times of India and its patrons, all the people who would advertise, realized that there is much more to being, a philanthropist and giving Times a 3 lakh or a 2 lakh and say, okay, put me on the front page, give me a write up, and I'll be part of your event. Okay. The term sponsorship was never there. It was a give and take business. So when this whole year went to be a grand success, the internal team decided that we should take all the functions, all these film fair, Femina, all of them happening in the Shanmukan in the hall, take them out into the open and do them on a grander scale because we realized we could do it. Okay,
Yes.
people like Roger Drago was our
Wow.
so
What a guy.
all those old time veterans, everybody was there. And of course, I met with Sabas Joseph at that point of time. Okay, I met with the Moranis at that point of time because they would be pitching for all the other events happening
All of us
in
were
the
so young that time.
and a lot of motivation from my general manager and Mr. Vineet Jain, where he once wrote on. I was asked to go into a different department. To Times FM was coming up. We won the
Coming up.
pitch, and they wanted me to go and set it up there. And the lady there, Chandni Sehgal, wanted me to go up to Times FM, and she wrote a letter to the HR, and it goes up. Obviously, it goes up to Vineet Jain. Vineet Jain writes there, Tanaz is an asset to the company, and I don't think unless you get me a good replacement, I can send her
I'm not
anywhere.
letting her go. Wow. Wow.
Things like that. And my general manager writing and giving me a motivational note that, I think you're absolutely cut for this kind of work. Thank you for giving us a flawless event. I still have those cuttings and I still have those papers with me. Now,
Precious, precious.
that was my calling for events. That's when I realized that maybe admin is also organizing only, right? Admin is organizing, it's different. So that time I knew that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. In any case, that time again, like I said, there were, not many event companies and where I could just go and join or would I have contact with them.
Mm.
So I got an opportunity to move on to UTV. Okay, so every organization, Meenakshi, that I worked with, I have taken away a lot of learnings, always, from my
Yes.
bosses, from the people that I worked with, every single organization. So UTV, Ronnie Screwvala, taught
What a
me,
guy.
absolutely, taught me that I should mold myself, I should make changes, I should adapt to a different situation. Because the Times of India being that formal setup completely, and then I going to UTV, which is a completely informal setup. Come in whatever time you like, go whatever time you like, wear what you want, behave how you want. So that was a culture shock for me. And every time I would have a meeting with Ronnie, a Monday morning meeting, and I would tell him, my God, there's so much of wrong happening here. It doesn't happen like that. And he said, these are my favorite people, and I've been working with them for years. You've come new, you've got to mold yourself into my setup. I know you're saying right. I know you're giving me the good advice and everything, but I want you to,
Adapt.
mold adapt and mold yourself into my organization and slowly win their hearts and see and then we can do all the changes that you want. And then, of course, everything went perfect, everything well. But that's my takeout from UTV from Ronnie. And I remember Ronnie standing and giving his vision of a 500 fortune company. And believe you
Yes.
me, all that he did over the years, I left UTV, but I have been observing, and that every tick is there in my mind. Every time I hear something new that he's done, I say, hey, he had written it
Very
down.
proud.
Yes, so
Yes.
this also he has done. Now that learned a lesson learned there was to visualize, to be a visionary, to work towards your goal. And I'm sure he did absolutely that because to where he is today and all
Yes.
those points that he had thought of then, he has accomplished. So that's what I learned from Ronnie Screwvala.
Ronnie.
Yeah. And then from there, I moved on. I also did a little bit of RMUSL, the 3D animation for him for a bit. And actually, that bogged me down a bit. And I was not very happy. Hence, I left. And at that point of time, Mr. Jindal from Times of India, from the board of directors, had left and gone to ZTV.
Uh,
He wanted to create another film fair, a, a pop of film fairs, okay? Another
yes.
another film fair, a greater one, a bigger one. So
Mm.
we worked. He got us all, pulled a lot of us from the Times of India, old hands, and got us together. And here I got to institutionalize the Z Cine Awards. the process,
Wow. The
systems,
first ever.
the tabulation, and of course, different from what Filmfare was. Filmfare
Yes.
was democratic as well as jury based. He wanted to do completely democratic, okay, for the people, by the people, of the people. He started a response department, and the processes were so huge, I can't tell you. But it was another landmark award ceremony event at the Z Cine Awards. Okay, and I remember the budgets in the Times of India were about 3.5 crores when we got it out to the Tulip Star Hotel and stuff. Here we had a 7.5 crore budget. I had a
Wow.
7.5 crore budget
Those
in
days, those days.
team.
Oh,
When I say me, I mean my team. There was Mitali,
team.
then there were a lot of people from the Z network. We all put together, brought out the first Z Cine Awards, a different sort of award completely, and it was a huge success. And we also launched the Z Premier magazine. So now here I learned a product launch. How do you launch
Yeah.
a product? Is there? What goes into launching a product? And here's where I met the wonderful SRK for the first time.
Oh, wow.
The
Wow.
magazine. Yes, yes. Uh, so that's where I met him for the first time. Did the Z Premier magazine with Rolf Emmert and the whole team again. And from there, I moved on to ZTV to ProCam.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
ProCam International. Lovely people, Vivek Singh, Anil Singh. I
Same.
joined them as Director Client Servicing. We had 21 partners. And of course, you know, I still say it as SCMM. Standard Chartered doesn't go out of my mind. And that's an example of how brand leverages another brand. Okay, I still
Yes.
can say that. I'm still not used to saying Tata Mumbai Marathon, or for that matter, Lux Film Fair Awards or
Yes.
Manik Film Fair Awards. When I refer, I always happen to say that name first. That
Yes.
is an example of public recall, how a brand leverages each other, and then they stick on together, which you very rarely see in
Synergistic.
success. आजकल ये
Yes.
नहीं होता, 2-2 साल में change होते हैं.
Change hota hai.
That was brilliant, how each one enhanced each other's
Brand.
leverage, yeah, and brand. So at Procam, I did marathons, and what did I learn from there? Learned giving back to society. Because what is the marathon? It is the spirit of Mumbai. Seeing people come out, 50,000 people on the road. It's a mass event. The kind of logistics and planning that goes into it almost a year in advance. Okay. Because you're dealing with public on the road. Okay. So entirely getting the permissions I remember we used to get about 56 permissions in
Those days
total.
was exhausting. Yes, yes.
56 of them for the road race. Okay. And then the people that come out there, you see Anil Ambani walking, and you see that fisher folk woman walking next to him, and on the dream run. And it started, I mean, Anil used to train for it, but you see people in the dream run, you see celebrities pulling the uh, chairs for the handicapped people. And
Wow.
there was a guy there, Angad Singh. And that story, he is called the spirit of Mumbai and that story again taught me his story, never to give up, move for achieve, go ahead to rock on to achieve what you want to, move on. He was a complete disabled
Yes,
kid
yes.
on the
He's a legend.
wheelchair. Yes. And for the first marathon, he tried walking 4 steps with help. And then by the time he used to walk every marathon, I think for the fourth or the fifth or the seventh marathon, he could walk 14 steps. And from 14 steps, it went on to 25 steps. And today he is still a part of the marathon. Now that guy gave me a lot of inspiration. And, to do what you like what you do, and you must do what you need to do.
True.
So from ProCam, then I moved to Rapo Global Events with Deepa Gatani. And here I
Well,
learned creativity. Deepak is a crazy creative guy.
he's very, very creative.
Absolutely. He was managing Mr. A.R. Rahman at that time.
Mm.
And music came into my life at that time. And I love music. So we planned the first A.R. Rahman concert tour across USA, 9 cities
Yeah.
across US.
That was in the 90s, is it? Or early 2000s?
Early 2000, early two,
Mm.
late 90s, early 2000.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I did a lot of other tours with Asha Bhosle with Daler Mehndi, quite a few. With Deepak, I got into the music industry
Yes.
and large shows. And we also would do the then Screen Awards, which is now Star
Ah,
Screen Awards. Okay, so
yes.
every year we would pitch and we would get it, and I would do that. I would do the Stardust Awards. I have done the, when I say done, a part of it, okay, and been a
Yes.
part of it and in the organizing committee, in the organizing team. So awards were at the tip of my fingers. Okay, the backstage management, the complete planning, logistics, modus operandi, processes, etc. That done, I went on to that's when I realized after Rapo Global, I did a short stint with Cineyug. Uh, Mohammad Murani wanted to
Done.
start his CWW, Cineyug Worldwide,
Yes.
and he wanted me to help him with launching it. And so, for a very brief while, because there was some delay in it, it happened much later. But for a brief while, I worked with them too. I had the pleasure of working with them too, and seeing how the stars operate and what is it to, book an artist. What are the different kinds of requirements? Their tech riders, what they need. Learned a lot over there too. And post that, I think I realized that I need to, now do things on my own. And one of my bosses would keep telling me that now that you've got so much of knowledge, why don't you, and you want to share it, why don't you put it down in a manual and, get a book of sorts done. And I mulled over it for a while. Finally, I decided to do it and I started writing. For somebody who hardly reads books, my husband says, you were damn good at writing the book.
Wonderful.
And I put down
Did he print it for you, or did you get a publisher?
Rupa. No, I
Rupa,
did.
wonderful.
Only when I
Hmm.
knew that I was getting a publisher and a good one at that, did I get into it. And of course, they read a manuscript first, and then they printed it for me. And I was 8,000 copies sold. I mean, within 2-3
Wonderful.
years, my students, my institutes would use it. So after that, they haven't done a reprint, but when the institutes ask for the book from Rupa, they publish it for them. And I was lucky. John Abraham launched my book for me
Wow, that's a dream.
without a single penny taken.
God
Just
bless
from a
him. Yeah.
friendly note, just on a friendly note, just a message to him that I am so and so, and I want to launch my book, and I want to do it with you. That time he was, on the top, in the top rankers of
Yes, he was booming those days. Mhm.
yes, and he obliged. I did not believe it, but he did oblige and he launched my book for me. That's very sweet of him, and I want to thank him again and again and again. Okay, that done. And then I got into freelancing, started working with all my colleagues, my friends, my event industry people, wherever they needed me to work freelance with them on a project. Either it was a part of the project or it was a certain silo, I got on with them. Like, for example, the Coldplay I did with Wizcraft.
Wizcraft.
Yes. And that's how I continued. Weddings came on my way. The first wedding was the Binani wedding, which
Mm.
I did on my own because I thought, yeah, what is it to put two functions together? Isme kya hai? And I just got into it. And then I realized, God, there's
Power of
so much.
collaboration.
Yes, there is so much to it. And I started making my little checklist, my little points, my notes again on what are the processes that I need to do to plan a wedding proper. Okay, this was on a, not, I wouldn't say on a small scale, it's quite a good scale, but yet not the best of the best. The beginning, very beginning.
Yes.
After that, I have to thank Samit Garg. He put me on to the Mittal-Saraf wedding. And he put me on to Mrs. Mittal. And I got down to assisting Mrs. Mittal on everything to do with the preps, the pre-preps, the
Oh,
on-event programs, the different events, the different functions, their personal stuff, okay, jewelry coming in, clothes coming in. I was parked at their house for about 4 months,
wow.
and I worked closely with her. And of course, that wedding was something else. I think that wedding was the beginning of the big scale ones. Okay?
Weddings. Very true. Very true.
Because Grand Hyatt, the ground next to Grand Hyatt, was
Hmm.
converted. It was a Madhubani theme, and it was converted into an arena with the 5 different elements of life,
Wow.
hangers. Yes, so
Wow.
Prithvi, Vayu, Agni, Bhu,
Amazing. Amazing.
different 5 huge, massive hangers, different kind of decor that I saw for the first time. Amazing stuff, amazing people. I met so many lovely vendors who I never knew of. Now there, my networking increased, and I got on, on my list a whole lot of people,
New people.
new people. And
Amazing.
Mrs. Mittal was very kind enough to refer me then to her gang of YPO, her YPO gang. Okay. And then they started calling and, having me help them for their children's weddings. And then the journey to weddings began.
Continues. Yes. Wonderful, Tanaz. And you've said so much. It is just I got goosebumps, thinking of the whole journey. I could graphically imagine little Tanaz growing up into this mature girl who people can trust. Now you're a one-man army. I can say it with pride. Most of us have our teams. We have offices, we have establishments, but you remained the one-man army, actually the dream event manager. An event manager is a person who's able to manage an event, doesn't have to have their own stuff, only their common sense. And that's exactly what you're doing. I think you're a very rare case of a perfect event manager. You have managed events with collaboration. In fact, the big names, you've dropped so many names of your workplaces where you have learned. These have been your gurukulas, whether it was a Wizcraft or it was a Rahman show with Deepak or it was, whatever. You have used it as your stepping stone and your masterclass. And, every step brought you towards that one person who can manage it all. And today you actually, you hold like the queen maker. You hold all the good stuff together and you dole it out to clients as and when they require. I'm so proud of you. But what did it take? What are the qualities, Tanaz, that you saw in yourself? Now you know that your background, it was difficult. You pushed your way up against the stream. You fought for your own education. You saw the rough life, and suddenly you knew that you could rough it out to make somebody else's wedding look grand or somebody else's life look great. But what did it take? How was the stress levels for you? And what are the 3 qualities that Tanaz has that are your selling points?
An eye for detail. Firstly,
Oh,
firstly, passion. I'm very passionate about what I do. My clients often tell me that they see a twinkle in my eye and they love the passion Because when I'm describing, when I'm telling them about do this for the wedding, do that, they say it looks like you are part of us, you know. And that's what you need to become for a wedding. It's a very personalized affair. Okay? You put yourself in their shoes and you get along with them and give them what they want. So first is passion. Second is detailing. I for detailing. And when I say detailing, I mean end-to-end detailing. Okay? Not just making your checklist, your element list, writing it down, and then handing it over to somebody and you're sitting back. No. An
You're on
element
the job.
list, absolutely. The element list is a list of about 30, 40 things. Every element has about 5 to 6 checkpoints to it. And that's your checklist. Okay. For example, say your gen set. Okay. You book a gen set, right? When you book it, after you book it, do you know what all goes along with it? What should you ask for it? What should you, the PWD license, what all should you
The
look out? Do you have
specifics.
a place? Where is it going to be parked? How far is it going to be parked from your venue? So is the guy going to go and bring that long a cable, or do you have to tell him, bring the cable, bring extra fuel, bring, all those little
Yeah.
points. I mean that kind of detailing on every
Micro detailing. Mm.
micro detailing. Absolutely. So complete passion, eye for detail, meticulous, noting down. I heard Martin. Martin, I was resonating with him on so many things. Okay,
Writes down everything.
absolutely, yeah. I have people. I mean, I had. Now they all know. Come for meetings without a book and a pen. Okay? I am so used to, I mean, I cannot do without my notebook and the pen, or even on the phone. But on the phone, it seems not so good to do, to work on. And therefore, you need to have to write down, to note down everything. Somehow it remains
True.
better in your mind. You can go back, look at it, and then, then come out with the finer points. So I laid down my own formats, my checklists, and I'm known for my checklists. My students from the last 2 years, sometimes I pick up the phone when I'm working on some project and I pick up the phone to talk to some VP sales or whatever, or event division, and I'll say, hello, I'm Tanaz Basrur, and I wanted to talk to you about this. And say, hey, ma'am, you are my ma'am, you taught me, you know.
Oh, so sweet.
And I
Yeah.
remember your
Recall.
checklist. And I remember your checklist. And I said, wow. And that feeling is so, yes. So uh, currently happy to give back. And these are the few qualities: meticulousness, be true to yourself. Okay. First, ask within you, do you like what you're doing? And is that what you want? Many students come in and join the events industry for the glamour and the
They don't
glitz.
realize hard
I
work.
get to meet
Yes.
Shahrukh, I get to meet Mr. Bachchan. I have had people saying, when will I get to see Mr. Bachchan? Or when will I get to? So, so that is a myth, because behind all that glitz and glam, there is also
Lot of
a lot
hard
of
work.
work
Lot of hard
and
work.
hard work that goes in. And so if you're only very sure that this is what you want to do, then you should get into the industry. And it's a booming industry. You're in the right place for sure. This industry
Yes.
never dies, never sleeps, no matter what. It's always
Yes.
alive. Yes.
Tanas, now you have seen different types of events, right? From a Coldplay concert, through Mr. A.R. Rahman, through sports, through fashion, and then weddings. Which is your favorite kind of event? You would always have a special corner for some events that are, very close to your heart. Where do you resonate the most? I know work is work, work is worship, but there's always a call that says that, okay, today is X and Y event, and that's my comfort zone. Which is your favorite?
The Mittal-Saraf wedding,
The
definitely.
weddings.
In
Mm,
the wedding business, and in the other business, A.R. Rahman concert.
yes,
Lots
yes.
of learning, loads and loads of learning, uh, terrible letdowns, and therefore, and that showed that gave me the confidence that I can handle situations. Okay,
True.
situations like I am thrown on an
Yeah.
airport at 4 a.m. in the morning with 120 people and no transportation. My promoter backs out
Oh,
last
that's the
minute.
worst thing.
Okay?
Nightmare.
I'm thrown up with a situation like that. And I don't know how, but I am resourceful. I don't sit with my head in my hand and say, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what do I do? I just have backup plans.
Be
If
part of the
not,
solution.
what works, yes, be part of the solution, not the problem. And don't
Yeah.
escalate the problem at that point of time. Think of solution. And that's where I saw myself doing it many, many, many times at umpteen number of places where I worked.
Tanaz, you're a lone ranger. See, everybody has backup. I have a department for this, and I'm the boss. But you are the boss, and you are the departments, and it's your call. You know whom you would bring on to the fore at which time. Which company will collaborate with you? Who's your flower vendor? Who's your vendor for manpower? It's your call. So the whole the client actually shoots through your shoulder. So they totally believe in this one person. You're the single point. And that means a lot of stress, on you because, you have to do your calculations, not just money wise. If they give you a budget, you work backwards, availability of vendors, credibility of the vendor, whether these people are going to really deliver. This must be very stressful. Your background for yoga, you're onto yoga practice. How does it help you? Does it help you de-stress? How do you de-stress, Tanaz?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I won't deny, I used to panic a lot in the beginning. I used to panic a lot. It's take a lot of stress. Literally I don't even now that way. I don't sleep before an event. I have my notebook next to me and whatever points that come to my mind, I keep noting down next to me in the night or before, I got to do this before it's the show begins or whatever. So I am stressed out completely like all other event managers are.
Yes, yes.
But yoga came into my life in 2013, and ever since then, I mean, slowly that calm composure, cool mind, letting go of things, and that thera, okay, that okay, if this doesn't happen, it's okay. There may be a way out. Okay. That was one thing, bringing that calm and peace in my mind. Secondly, uh, handling situations better, handling situations in a better manner. My flexibility, you know, shot up. I was more flexible, more active. If I don't practice yoga in the mornings, I'd feel like very lethargic, and I feel something missing from my life. So I love yoga, and I think it does a whole lot of good to everybody. Everybody should practice yoga.
Yes, yes. Tanaz, sometimes even when I sleep, just before an event, I hear the client talking to me. It's almost so surreal. He's right next to me. And I feel
Yeah.
like, it's all happening around me and I'm trying to sleep. And, that really, for us, it's a very strange situation because, we are trying to do somebody else's happiness for them and doing it our way. But I think we are, mavericks. All of us create the magic in such a beautiful way. What is the future? I mean, we have seen 3-4 decades of an industry. You have actually come in from another industry, the entertainment, the logistics, hospitality industry. You've come into events. But the events industry is more than 3 decades strong. But we are still on the starting line, and there's a long story. How do you perceive in this today's digital world where everything is becoming AI generated, events are becoming digital platforms, hybrid events? There are some new jargons coming up, which is so unlike and what we are used to, but still we are adapting. In this scenario, what is the future for the people who are looking, the children who are joining us? They're smarter than us. They come equipped with a smarter brain. How is the future going to be for events? And how will Tanaz, I'm sure she's going to hold her water even then, how will Tanaz handle this?
Uh, for the new people who are coming into the business, they are into the business at the right time. They have so much to learn because there's There, like you said, technology, the AI, the augmented reality, virtual reality, hybrid events, all of this has come in thanks to the pandemic. Okay. And I mean, I also, the pandemic was a real setback for quite a few people, although not for our industry, but quite a few people. But the learn now I have natural calamity and a pandemic on my checklist, on my element list down. Should something
Wow.
like this happen, what do you do? So now, what the new gen, whoever gets into this, has to do all the learning that they have to do from all the new technology and all that, and live with that. I only hope that it doesn't take away the human touch from it, from
True.
events. Okay,
Very true.
because everything being and AI is frightful. AI is frightening. AI listens. I mean, your phone listens to you. I'm talking to you now. Maybe tomorrow I'll get a message saying that I'm planning an AR Rahman concert. I'm traveling. So what?
Ah,
You know, it's that.
yes,
So
yes, yes, the word.
it has its pros and its cons. But I only pray and wish that it doesn't take away from the personal experience. It doesn't take away the individuals working hard and making a living out of this. Okay,
True,
like
true.
machinery taking away manpower.
Yes.
Having said that, it has its own charm, it has its own, it makes life easier. For example, the apps today available, they make life so much easier. They, you know, you don't need to have your laptop, you don't need to have, you just need to have your phone, and you work on the apps. It makes it so easy. The apps for
True.
ticketing, etc., right now that have come out, new apps, and I've been working for all the biggest events now. It makes life so much more simpler, less stressful. So, adapting to the whole situation, and like you said, they are bright sparks, anyways, in the
Yes.
digital world. They're already a step ahead of us. So,
Yeah.
only to enhance it further, upskill, upgrade themselves, learn, okay,
Yes.
learn new stuff, and stay with the times. Keep changing with the times, is
Tanaz,
my
you
advice.
are, you know, you started your life as a teacher, and I think you remained one of the most beautiful teachers of life as an event. You've given back so much of learning to your students. You had your academy, your classes, and now there is this incredible program that you are planning for the future, where you're going to, you know, give back a master class. I think it's invaluable. It's precious what you have gone through, what I have gone through. If we can charter a course and tell people that it was like this, every road we went to was a learning. Every word we said, every expression is a chapter in our book of life, and life is the greatest event. So tell me, Tanaz, about your masterclass, what you are planning, and for all those who are listening, this is the most crucial part of this particular episode. Tanaz is here because she has a very strong story. Her life story as an events person has experiences. Every minute is a learning. And if you listen very carefully to this great Guruji, you are taking the right path at the right time. So tell us, Tanaz, about your masterclass and what you've been doing with teaching the future generations.
So, when I freelance with various organizations, I won't take names, but various organizations that I take part, I mean, I work for, I find that the pre planning stage, which is the most important one, lacks in many ways. Okay. People take things for granted, do not follow processes, systems, formats, okay, checklists. I beg of people, please note this. I've made the checklist for you, but now make sure that everything that is required is there. And that is absolutely macro detail, yeah. And yet I find that people don't think it's important. That Jugadu, you know, image still exists in
Escape,
some places. हाँ
escape,
ठीक है तो हो
escape.
जाएगा वो तो हो जाएगा that'll be done. I mean, yeah, it's okay. No, I'll do it. I'll do it. And when, especially when it is for large scale events, if you're not meticulous, if you're not on the ball, you're not, and if you're a project head, another big lesson that I would want to tell is that if you're a project head, you have to learn to delegate. I've had many an experiences where I've worked for people and the project head sits with everything with them till the end, doesn't give away, doesn't let go, doesn't
Yeah.
delegate. And then at that point of time, I've seen people who cannot stand just before the event begins on their feet. They're sleepy, there's a burnout.
They're tired. Yes.
They don't understand that. And what's the point of all that 4 or 5 months of hard work when at that time you're not there to look into it? You're not there to look into the last minute requirements. So a big learning, and I always tell everybody, and I see it lack. I see it not happening everywhere. And that's why I thought I will do these master classes where I can, in the all most of our students nowadays, they are with the event companies, and everybody, organizations employ people from our institutes. Yet the minute detailing, the hands-on stuff is not, you're not able to teach all of that in your classroom. You've got to get down to the ground, on the floor, on site
Dirty your
experience,
hands.
dirty your
Yes.
hand, and learn it all, experience it all. So uh, I observed everywhere that these were the little areas where I could help, So I thought I would do a master class in different areas wherever people need it. And by the way, I've had friends call me and say, "Hey, come now one day to my office and give
Do it.
my team a lecture of yours and show them what to do." So that gave me the impetus to get on to doing this. And actually, now this is very often I think now I should retire. You know,
It is
but
difficult for us to retire. We only retry.
I just cannot sit idle. I say it that no, now I'm not going to take on a project like this, or I'm not going to take on everything. I'll do something easy, whatever, but I somehow land up somewhere and I'm happy. And believe you me, I am so happy doing work on ground, on the floor, that
Even
I don't, yeah, nothing happens to me. Nothing. Otherwise, I'm falling sick. I'm a diabetic. So, falling sick for various reasons. But when I'm at work, I rock. I do not, I do not look at time. I do not look at who is, what am I doing? My only interest is to give that best shot and then get a thank you from my client or my
yeah.
colleague or my team.
Tanaz, we all of us forget sometimes, especially as mothers, as wives. There are some fantastic guys that we marry who, we don't say thank you to them often. And our children too, they're proud of us, but they miss us. Tell us about those moments as a mother, as a wife, when you're in the field serving somebody else's purpose and you know that your child is ill or, your husband needs you next to him. How did you tackle all those emotional moments, being a woman, especially? I think women have it more. Men also go through it, but for us, it's a little more, isn't it? How did you handle that?
So when I was having my worst pregnancy one can think of, I was at Times of India, and I think out of the 9 months, 7 months, I was in and out of hospital throughout. I would go to work and then I would be back at home or in the hospital. Okay. So, but I was blessed, I can say, to have a lovely husband and a more lovely mother in law.
Oh,
Okay.
this is it. Even me too.
Gave her all to my son because my son was born a premature baby. And I was in that postpartum period, which was very bad. It's very sad because to keep the baby going, I had to take injections daily, about 6 injections daily, and things like that. So I had a bad postpartum period too. And then, of course, my leave was consumed to a great extent because I used to be on leave most of the times. So I had to get back to work. But my mother-in-law, she took over, she was a nurse. And so she also, therefore, my doctors allowed my kid to be taken home with a tube because he was a
Oh.
premature baby. And she was my pillar of support. My parents, of course, whilst they were there always and pillars of support. But after my marriage and my career, and very supportive and absolutely wanting me to go ahead and do what you have to do. Never stopped me for anything. And she took care of my son. And of course, my husband, supportive as ever, always with me on everything that I do. So I've been very lucky that way. Very lucky, I can say. And I'm blessed. I should say thanks to them.
Big hug to Mr. Basrur and the little boy, and a larger hug to you, my dear friend. You know, life is an event, and we celebrate it so beautifully. Sometimes we forget in serving somebody else's event that our life is flitting away, and we've forgotten to enjoy our lives. But being an event manager, it is so satisfying. We come and sleep like labor, you know, we feel so justified in having those 5, 6 hours of sleep, a little, you know, naps in between because we work so hard. And the only truth is that we are mad. We are madly in love with what we do. Here, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls who are watching, I have a strategy in bringing Tanaz to this room. Tanaz is not the typical event manager. She's the event maker. She makes us what we are. We might have our teams and our strategies, but we need one hand like Tanaz, one person to convince a whole world of clients what a great planner can do. And for the last 42 years, there's not a single moment when Tanaz has not delivered, and she's always betted on the right horses. So, you know, if you go to her masterclass and you learn the nitty gritties, the small 10 points that she's going to give you, you can be sure that you are entering a field of excellence. Tanaz, even today, I have parents who come to Razzmatazz, my company, and they say, ma'am, my son didn't get into an IIT or he didn't get into a medical seat. So he was thinking of working with you part-time and learning how to, you know, maybe he can manage to be an event manager till he gets the next opportunity. I feel like murdering those people because you have to be much more brilliant. You have to be much more creative. And I think an event manager is truly a maverick that juggles so many hats. You just cannot be a school dropout and want to do well. You have to be a school dropout with a brilliant mind and a mad passion to excel, to be wanting to ask Razzmatazz to take you in, isn't it, Tanaz?
Yeah, sure. And I want to add that I work hard, I party harder. When I say I
Yeah.
party, I don't mean I go to the the pubs, etc., or whatever. I do go there too, but I can, for me, going for I'll come back from a hard day's work, and my friends are will swear by it, and I will tell them, let's go for a 10 p.m. show. They said, but you're mad. I'm tired. You've just come back from your event. I said, no problem. Let's go. I want to do everything. I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy my work too. And believe you me, that keeps me going and kicking. I want to dance. I want to listen to music. I want to go for concerts. I want to do everything. And wherever I go for these events because I'm still learning things so that I can impart the same again to my students. So work hard, party harder, please.
Thank you, Tanaz. Tanaz, I can just keep talking to you because, you know, you're such a positive, warm vibration. I feel like I'm talking to a friend of many years. We might not have physically met, but our souls have met today. I especially thank Geetika for just suggesting me to speak to Tanaz. I'm eternally grateful to you, Geetika. And it's girls that hold girls together. You know, we women, we love each other so much. We recognize each other and we hold and collaborate with each other. Here's a shout out to my dear friend Malti, if she's watching, and my Jayashri Hattangadi. They are also the party lovers and they love life king size. This episode is dedicated to every woman who wants to be an excellent event manager. Thank you so much, my darling Tanaz. God bless you. May the tribe increase. May you teach many good people to fight the good battle.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.